صباح الخير للجميع. سعادة المفوض العام للأونروا فيليب لازاريني. Commissioner, over to you.
Thank you and good morning. It's first of all, it's my first visit for some months here in Beirut. I would have come earlier, but as you all know, Gaza and the issues related to the agency have taken a lot of my time. But let me also start by thanking you for your coverage of the situation here in the region. Now, I just met Prime Minister Meiqati this morning. Basically, we were first talking about the situation in Rafah. You see how dramatically the situation is evolving. We have already more than 1 million people who have been recently displaced. Again, half the population of Gaza has been forced on the road, and we are struggling to bring supply into the Gaza Strip. And you also saw last night again disturbing images of people, of mass casualties, and reportedly that even settlements were on fire and a number of people have been killed. Unfortunately, we haven't been in contact yet because of the telecommunication difficulties with our team on the ground. We will certainly be able to report more later on. Now, we also discuss about the overall financial situation of the agency. As you know, we are basically functioning hand-to-mouth on a monthly basis. The agency has been severely weakened from financial crisis over the last few years, but it has also been accelerated in January at the time of the allegation that 12 staff might have participated to the horrible massacre of October 7. At that time, you might remember, 16 donors announced the freeze. At that time, we have also taken a number of decisions. The first decision was to terminate the contract, the second one to open an independent investigation, and the first one to ask former Minister of Foreign Affairs of France, Catherine Colonna, with the support of 3 Scandinavian institutes, to look at all the risk management system and mechanism of the agency. Now, you remember the outcome of this review was that the agency has robust mechanism. They are above the average of any other United Nations agency in the region, but because of our footprint, because of the complex political environment, there are still a number of measures the agency can take, and this is what the Secretary General and myself have agreed to implement. Now, since then, 14 donors, all the EU members and above, Japan, Australia, Canada, have resumed their contribution to the agency, and today the only one missing is the United States, who have informed and announced that there will be no resumption before March 25, and we have also the United Kingdom, which has not yet announced its resumption. So all this to say that the situation remains financially precarious, but I have also told the Prime Minister that we will do whatever is possible to keep all our activities running across the region, but also in Lebanon. Now, we also discussed with the Prime Minister the attacks the agency is under. We, as you know, already in Gaza, the United Nations and UNRWA has been blatantly disregarded. The number of people, staff members who have been killed is unprecedented, 192 as of today. The number of premises which have been damaged or fully destroyed, the number of convoys which have been prevented or attacked. And beyond that, we have also campaigns going on to label the agency as a terrorist organization or to push the agency not only out of Gaza, but also out of Jerusalem. But we are not only under pressure there. I also raised the point with the Prime Minister that even here in Beirut, we are under pressure. For more than 2 months, our personnel and staff have not been allowed to access the headquarters. It has been reopened only on Friday, and basically those closing or preventing the access have talked about a 1-week window. This is not acceptable. This is the United Nations, and the United Nations personnel has and needs to have access at any time to all its premises to make sure that services are provided to the population. Now, we also know that the situation in the camps is very dire. The poverty has reached skyrocketing proportion. And we also know that education has been too frequently disrupted in the camp. It is of utmost importance that the agency be able to continue to fulfill its mandate, and to support and assist and protect the Palestinian refugees, not only here in Lebanon, but also across the region. We should never forget that many of the attacks the agency is under are ultimately aimed at stripping the Palestinian refugees from their rights, and we have to push back. But including action like the one we see here are also undermining the ability of the agency to properly operate. I heard from many staff how this is impacting the day-to-day life of the people in the camp, and I really hope that during my 2 days we will address this issue, because this is what we owe to the Palestinian refugees in the camp here in Lebanon. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. باسل الحسن رئيس لجنة الحوار اللبناني الفلسطيني في رئاسة مجلس الوزراء، الكلمة لك. شكرا.
يعني بداية نشكر سيد المفوض العام على الإحاطة حول كل الجهد اللي قامت فيه الوكالة والمفوض العام خلال الفترة بين 7 أكتوبر واليوم، خاصة في المسائل المتعلقة بالتحديات اللي واجهت الوكالة فيما يتصل بقضايا التمويل والاتصال بالدول المانحة لاستئلام في عملية التمويل، وأيضا التحديات المرتبطة بالوضع الإنساني بغزة والتحديات المستمرة حتى الآن. في الواقع النقاش مع دولة رئيس مجلس الوزراء يعني استعرض كل الإشكاليات بما فيها المسألة المتعلقة واقع الوكالة في لبنان بالوقت اللي احنا عم نشهد فيه كمان في الضفة الغربية وبالقدس الشرقية أشكال من الاعتداء على مكاتب الوكالة في الضفة وفي القدس الشرقية. أيضا نحن هنا في لبنان استعرضنا التزاماتنا كحكومة لبنانية تجاه الوكالة، وأيضا استعرضنا موقف الحكومة تجاه مسألة حماية وتحصين حق الشعب الفلسطيني في التعبير عن طموحاته الوطنية، وأيضا بذات الوقت التوازن بين هذين الحقين لحماية الوكالة في ظل هجمة واسعة النطاق يعني عم يقوم فيها العدو الإسرائيلي. لذلك الجهد المشترك الآن القائم بين الحكومة اللبنانية والوكالة هو كيفية تحصين الوكالة، كيفية حماية الساحة المتعلقة باللاجئين الفلسطينيين في لبنان، واستمرار عملية التمويل، والتوازن بين يعني الطموحات الوطنية للشعب الفلسطيني اللي نحن يعني ندعمها ونقف إلى جانبها بشكل كامل، وأيضا مع الضرورات المتعلقة بواقع الوكالة وتحدياتها الحالية بعد 7 أكتوبر. شكرا.
شكرا أستاذ باسل. رح نفتح مجال للأسئلة. بس إذا أي حدا بده يسأل سؤال إذا ممكن بس بليز تعرفوا عن حالكم والسؤال واحد وباختصار لأنه ما معنا كتير وقت. بليز.
Lازاريني, what do you think of the Knesset's primary bill declaring that the UNRWA is a terrorist organization?
I have read about the bill. You have heard me more than once about this issue. I went even to the Security Council, pushing back about all this effort aimed at dismantling the agency. There is a lot of disinformation, a lot of distortion, and I think it is outrageous that we can label a United Nations organization as a terrorist organization, because this is setting a new law, a new precedent. Now the bill is not adopted. There are still readings going on, and I really hope that Israel will also comply to its international obligation vis-à-vis international organization. Thank you.
Please.
Hi, sorry, Emily from Reuters. Question. So, do you have any details about the casualties caused last night in Israel's strikes in Rafah? And if you can describe the escalating risks for the civilian population of Israel's continuing operations?
I cannot comment on the casualties because we haven't been able to properly communicate with our team on the ground. I saw images. They are deeply disturbing and horrifying. I think we have been clear more than once. There is no safe space in Gaza. We have an enormous concentration of population. These people have been asked many times to move, but in reality, even when they move, there are casualties. And again, there have been numerous calls from a number of member states, from the Secretary General, from myself, more than ever. What is required is a ceasefire. We need a ceasefire. We need to increase substantially the assistance in the Gaza Strip. This is also a real problem today. And we need also to have the release of the hostages to look forward.
Okay. Thanks. فينا ناخذ سؤال واحد عادي كمان واحد اخر واحد ونسكر بعدين معلش تفضلي مدام
Ah, vous pouvez dire en français hein, si vous voulez. Mais... Ok. Thank you. It is true that the US has been our primary donor, and the decision is leaving a big shortfall. Now, we have mobilized all possible effort. You have seen that many of the donors who had suspended have reviewed their decision and are back and support the agency. Other donors have increased their contribution. We have seen new countries also supporting the agency, including from the region. And what we have also seen is an extraordinary solidarity from the people. And our fundraising, the private fundraising, people like you and I, contributing to the agency, have mobilized more than 120 million US dollars. The situation remains extremely fragile. We are basically functioning month after month, but I'm more optimistic today on our ability to rebuild the trust of our partners than I was even 3 months ago when the allegations have been made public. Having said that, it's a very long way to go, and I do not have visibility beyond 1 to 2 months. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
شكرا.
Thank you.